You're listening to the Moody Mommies podcast.
Audio warning. You may or may not hear kids screaming and yelling in the background, or us screaming or yelling at them to keep it together. Roll it. I don't know why people hate on Limp Bizkit.
I don't either.
You want to mess with Limp Bizkit? You can't mess with Limp Bizkit. So we're back.
It's been a while, guys.
Holidays are over. Did we put an episode out where I had the baby? We did one, right?
Yeah, we did your birthing.
Yeah, and then we went back, and then we just did these 2 podcasts with Latinx parenting.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And now we're here to catch up because the holidays just...
This is our first episode for 2020, guys. So happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
We're back. We're ready to rumble and keep it consistent bi-weekly.
Yeah, hopefully. So I guess one big change is I decided to quit my main job.
Tell me all about it. You didn't even tell me.
I didn't even tell you about it. So... Well, my sister-in-law and my aunt-in-law both work at the same place I work at. And they see my boss in the halls, and they're like, when are you going to tell her that you're not coming back? We feel like we're holding this horrible secret.
Like, we're betraying her.
Uh-huh.
Seeing her every day.
Yeah, and people are starting to ask, when's Jess coming back to work? And so I was like, all right, I guess I better tell her. So I text her and I say, hey, Gloria, are you in the office? And she's just like, no, not today. And I was like, of course.
Damn.
Yeah. And she's like, just call me. And I was like,
no.
Okay. So I just call her. We're just like, chatting it up, catching up a little bit. And then she goes like, okay, so HR says you're coming back February 1st. Was that still right? I don't really know. I know you kind of bounced around a couple dates. Yeah, well, that's the date that I've given them so far. But me and Ernie have been talking about it, and we think it's best that I stay home with the kids and don't go back to work. And then she's just like, I was hoping you weren't going to say that. And I felt so bad because, honestly, she is the sweetest boss. Like, I've never met somebody... like a manager that's so understanding. Like, you need to go be with your family. You got to do, you got to do what you got to do, because she's the same way.
Yeah.
She has her daughter, and if she has to go, like, sorry, work can wait. Her customers can wait. Mm-hmm. And I really admire that about her, because it's hard to be a mom and work full time.
Definitely.
And there's some ladies that are moms there that really do put their family second, and it's so sad.
It is.
It's so sad to see them be like, I don't care if my kid has a fever. They gotta go to school because I don't got nobody to watch them.
Oh my gosh.
Just like, no, man. Like, your salary. Go home.
Right. I don't know. I think it's definitely a blessing to work for someone who's understanding like that, because, I mean, we had that episode about being in the work field and how I felt when I went on maternity leave, and these guys are acting like I was going on a freaking vacation,
right.
And it sucks because you feel so like guilty, like, damn, like I have to come back right away because these guys think like I'm just fooling around,
right.
And you feel so pressured, like, oh, I have to be there. And it's like, no, I have something more important to do, and that's my children. So sorry, peace out, Yeah,
that's exactly it. And after I told her that, she was just like, I'm happy for you. She was like, if this is what you need to do, like, I'm happy for you. And I was like,
me too. Congratulations.
I was all like, tears in my eyes, like, ooh,
Yeah,
like,
it's a hard
so bad.
door to close, but,
it is. Yeah, and I was explaining to her how when I had Justine, my mom and dad were still together. They were both kind of watching her.
Right.
And my mom was healthy at the time. And this time, it's 4 years later, my parents split up. My mom has her own life now.
Right.
She's not stuck here at the house. She's also not 100% well anymore. So there's days where she's not okay. She's not going to be able to care for one kid, let alone two kids.
Two babies, yeah.
And then, the little bit of time that I see her here, it's, it's hard to watch two kids.
Right.
And to meet the needs of Justine, like, it's not going to happen. Like, it's going to be focused on the baby, right? Because the baby can't speak for herself. The baby can't do anything. So
right.
Justine's just going to be put to the side, which is, like, something that I'm trying to balance right now. But I don't think it's fair to make my mom have to balance that.
Right. Because
that's
you're
my
the
job.
Mom. You
right,
know, like, okay, I just did this. I'm going to go do this now. Like, that's your focus.
Right. And, of course, like, I am now feeling like I have a lot of shortcomings, but I would rather be me than her. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't want that responsibility to fall on her.
Right.
Like, maybe she would do a great job and handle two kids. I don't know, but I don't want that to be her responsibility.
Yeah.
And my insurance at work was so expensive. It was taking pretty much, like, almost half of my, or, like, at least a quarter of my paycheck, right? Which is a lot.
Right.
And I was, like, throwing out the math for her, like, really quick. And she's like, no, I get it. When you put the numbers together, it just doesn't make sense. Then,
yeah, stay home.
Yeah, and then she just said, just to, rub a little salt on the wound. She's like, but your new little bosses aren't going to be as nice as me. I was like, I know.
I know.
Our little tyrants.
That sucks.
Yeah, and I've been struggling with just eating, like, every day.
Really?
Yeah, she's too much. She's a little trying to be a little adult right now.
Mm-hmm.
And Lily, my sister-in-law, was telling me that she heard on some podcast from, like, another parenting podcast that the way the kids behave, like, right now at this preschool age is a reflection of what they're going to be at teenagers. And I was like, oh no.
We're in for it, aren't we?
Oh my God. All the back talk, all the, well, you do it and you blah blah blah.
That's why you have to nip it in the butt.
I know.
Now.
I know.
That's why it's really good that you're staying home, Jess.
Yeah.
Because grandmas don't do that.
Yeah.
Like,
right. And I want my mom to have that grandma relationship and
right.
not that authority,
like mama role. Yeah, where you
yeah.
lose your voice and
Yeah.
I'm happy for you.
Yeah, it's hard letting go of a full-time job. I'm still working for the camp, so
That's
I at
good.
least have something
for the
some. Yeah, but that's a at-home job.
Yeah, that's good. Even better.
Yeah, so that was that, and I just felt really relieved, but, like, nervous at the same time because I actually said the words like, "Hey, I'm not coming back."
It's real. Makes it real.
Yeah, but then, of course, of all months that I'm, like, not working, so I told HR, like, okay, I'm quitting. They're like, all right, this is the insurance premium part that you got to pay. And every month it's been, like, I don't know, a little over $600, right? Because I take 300 something out of every paycheck. And, of course, because it's my life, January had 3 pay periods in it. So I owe them over $900.
Oh, my gosh. And it's your birthday.
It's my birthday.
Mm-hmm.
What the heck? Like, well, I mean, yes, I can pay them, but, I mean, that's going to take a lot of money out of what I've been saving. That's almost $1,000.
Right. I know. The struggle is real.
I was like, by one day, too. If it would have been on February 1st, I wouldn't have had to pay that money. But it's January 31st that paycheck lands on.
That sucks.
I know. Whatever. FML. But
what are you going to do? Got to cover these baby spooties.
I know. For the last time before so that was a big thing too, right? Like, I'm leaving my good insurance behind. I got to figure out something new for us.
So if you guys have any ideas, send them over to Jess because we need them right now. I'm going to need them too. Well, I have a bit of transitioning happening in my life right now too. My husband was on disability from the previous job that he was working at. So we were kind of we're through the same thing,
Yeah, story of our lives.
Of course.
Yeah.
His disability was basically up, and it's like, okay, what are you doing? You going back to work or you finding a new job? But all the money is out, so you need to find out right now. And this was like last week, so we were scrambling, like, stressed out. Like, dude, my, like, bills monthly are, like, $3,000. Like, it's a lot, you know, this to live out here. It's a lot. We have a lot of just financial stuff going on. And so I'm just like, my income is not enough to keep us afloat. Like, what am I going to do? Like, so luckily he found a new job.
He did?
He got a job. He's going to be like a salesperson there. He's going to be making pretty good money an hour, good benefits, whatnot. But, you know, we go to our favorite, you know, I found us the best doctor in the world that we could take our children to. Yeah. So I'm a little nervous because, you know, he's starting a new job. I have no idea what kind of benefits they're going to offer us. Yeah. And I don't know if I'm going to be able to keep my same pediatrics. So
I'm really sad because I don't think we're going to be able to keep her for sure. So
definitely don't know about me either. So that's a big worry for both of us. So
yeah, and we kind of talked about, oh, what if she does a cash thing, you know, and which would be great for Justine because, you know, she's done with her shots.
She doesn't have to go.
Right, it would just be once a year. Check her out. You know, if I need to give him $100-$200, like that's fine. That's fine because that's way less than what I've been paying. Yep. But the baby, like, she's, like, on a schedule right now. So she needs to... I can't do an out-of-pocket for her because I don't know how much these vaccines are.
Yeah. Yeah, it can get costly, so... Something will come your way. Don't worry. Don't worry.
We'll figure it out.
You'll be fine.
Yeah.
But... aside from all that, what else is going to happen? Jessica's going to be having a birthday pretty soon, so...
Not excited, but I almost forgot how old I was turning too until I was like, what year is it? Okay, I know how old I'm gonna be.
So you're turning, oh my goodness, already?
I know.
What?
I know.
How is this happening to us?
I don't know.
It's these kids, they're aging us.
I know, literally. And time. Father time.
Yep.
How dare you?
I know. Well, we're going to go up to Big Bear and celebrate your birthday this year, so I'm excited. Yeah. Got to take the kids to the snow. So if anybody's gone up and has any good ideas for things for us to do out there, send them my way.
You've gone up to the snow with the kids before, right?
Yeah.
What did you guys do?
Well, the kids just, you know, play in the snow.
They're like a lot smaller though, or was this kind of recently?
When I've taken them, they were smaller, yeah. Okay. It's been a while. It's kind of annoying when they're this age because the hardest thing is the gloves. They don't want to keep the gloves on. And that's the key to success of having fun in the snow is having your hands warm, you know? Yeah. And kids don't understand that. They just want to rip these things off that feel foreign to their hands. Yeah. So you spend most of your day trying to put your kids' gloves on over and over, and the beanie, and put it on. Like that's what the day is gonna be.
We went to that snow day LA, I think.
Oh, you did? You tried it?
Last year, yeah. We went, and Justine did pretty good about keeping her gloves on and stuff. But as soon as we were out of that little snow area, she's like
ripping everything off. Yeah.
But as long as she kept it on for a little while, so
it's good.
Maybe we'll just leave it. If you take those gloves off, we're going back inside.
Once it comes off, we go in. Yeah. I know. I'm excited for them. They'll have fun.
Justine cannot wait. She keeps, when am I going to have my sleepover with my cousin?
Oh my gosh, she's so
cute.
Still
got like another week. We still got another 2
I know. It's going by slow, kind of. Normally stuff like this creeps up pretty fast.
You know what? I feel like for me it is kind of creeping up fast. Today I looked at the date. I was like, oh, it's the 20th? Is it?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
But we're going next week, right?
On the 29th. Yeah. So in 9 days.
Yeah, we're going in 9 days.
That's not... I feel like that's going to go by pretty fast.
It will.
Over this break, I saw that Brittany Leach? Was that her name? Brittany Bourne Leach. I'm sure all of you guys who are listening have seen this because that was crazy viral. And her son was like the same age, a little bit younger than Elise. And, dude, all of our nightmare is Sid. And honestly, I don't know what the cause was, like, of her baby passing. Like, I have no idea. They didn't say. It was just he was taking a nap and he didn't wake up. So I'm assuming that it's that. It could be something totally different. But my like red alert went to like hyper red alert where it's just what is sleep. I have to be constantly like she's breathing. My hand on my hand on her stomach, my hand under her nose, just everything. Is she rolling over? And she's she's at the age now where she rolls herself over, and she's one of those babies that get really congested overnight.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so she is most comfortable on her side because it's not, her airway's not being blocked. Yeah. So it even makes me more nervous because I'm like, oh my God, what if she turns...
not supposed to sleep that way.
Yeah, and when she turns all the way over and she blocks her face,
yeah.
It is just...
I know. I felt so bad for you when that story broke and you told me about it because I was just like, oh my gosh, poor thing. Because when we had Zoe, I had to sleep with her tied to me for the first 3 months anyways.
I can't believe you slept every night like that for 3 months.
I know. But we basically were on like a
good rhythm, yeah.
No, like, and we would rotate sleep. Like, hey, you watch her and I'll watch her. And you watch, like, he would sleep like in the day. I would be up in the night. Like, it was just like whatever. Like, we did it that way because we were so freaked out about that. We're just like, no, we need to be like staring at her at every second to make sure she's constantly breathing and she's okay. Like, she was our first baby. We were so afraid of that. Yeah. And so I could imagine. I didn't, luckily, I'm sure it was happening and it happened to parents, but I didn't hear any big stories or any influencers that it happened to at the moment. Yeah. So after I passed a certain amount of months with her, of course, I was like, okay, I can breathe now. But your baby was just like, bam, right smack in that same age where I was just like, oh my God, Jess.
I know.
Good luck. Like, I'll see you in like 3 months.
I know. I just...
Because, yeah, it's creepy. It's very creepy. And then I hear about those, like, those little devices that, what is it, like that owlet thingy you can put on their foot.
And that lady had, I mean, I'm sure they were at somebody else's house. The baby was just taking a nap. It wasn't an overnight
Christmas,
thing.
Yeah.
Right. Because I know she had that on her profile, that they had that little sock and stuff, but I'm assuming they weren't using it that day.
Oh, wow.
But we had a little monitor for Justine, like a waist one. And that thing, as soon as it came, like, moved from somewhere, it kind of made you more worried than not.
Yeah. One of our cousins, she has it for her son, and she said the same thing. Like, the worst part about that thing is when it just sends you, like, an alert that's not real. Like, you're, like, wake up in the middle of the night, panic, like, thinking, oh, my gosh. And it's just, like, a false alarm. Luckily.
Yeah, better be a false alarm than not be notified at all, I guess. But, yeah, I read somewhere that it's more common in boys than girls.
Really?
But I mean, it doesn't matter. Just because it's more common doesn't mean it won't happen to a little
course
girl. So yeah, almost at 5 months, I'm in that like danger zone right now. So I think every month it kind of like gets less and less, but she seems pretty chill.
Yeah.
You never know. When that was going on, I could not stop thinking about that woman and her family.
Oh my gosh. My heart broke. Every time I was sitting there looking at her profile, I was just like bawling tears. And my husband just walking by looking at me like, what happened? And I told him about it. And he's just like, oh my God.
Dude, I was telling everybody about it because I could not stop thinking about it.
I know you got to my house on New Year's and I look over on the couch and you're like,
your mom?
I'm telling your mom. And
I gotta tell her.
All like in a somber tone, and I already knew, like, oh, I know what you're saying. Like, I don't mean to laugh, but
I know I don't either. But it's just,
it was just so heart touching that you did want everyone to know, so you can feel what this family was going through.
Yeah.
It was really hard.
But it's also like super heartbreaking because the woman Brittany kept posting like, I know I'm getting all these new followers and I'm going through this horrible time, and it's like, yeah, it does suck, but it's not that, I don't think it's more of that like misery loves company. It's just kind of like a news, like you just want to like keep up, like what's going on,
is she okay?
Yeah,
is she having a good day? Is she getting through it a little easier today?
Yeah, right. But it did feel like kind of a celebrity, right? So like if something was going on with Britney Spears, like we're like, what's my alert for Britney Spears? Like, what does she do now? What's going on now?
Right.
I don't even know why I use Britney Spears. I'm so mad. I'm so annoyed at her. She just is weird. She's always my go-to example of like Britney Spears. Yeah, Britney Spears. And then I go to her Instagram and I'm like, I cannot stand you.
Oh my gosh. I can't stand that she can't take off yesterday's makeup under her eyes. That drives me insane.
That's like her look. I can't stand that she has those trailer trash
extensions.
Yes. Why?
You're on her. If you throw on Slave right now, we will still throw it down like no tomorrow.
Yeah, but that's like 15 years ago, Britney. What new songs does she have now? I don't freaking know. I don't know. She did a song with Iggy Azalea. That was a flop.
Oh my gosh. No.
Yeah, it was. I don't even know what it was. The lyrics were in my head, but it was no bueno.
I don't like that girl, Iggy.
No, who does?
I know, no
who
one.
does?
No
I mean,
one.
other than Fancy. And it was not even her part of the song that I liked.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my god, the first time I heard that song, I still remember. I was coming back from boiling crab. I was like, oh,
so you were feeling fancy. Had that fancy shrimp in your stomach?
Yep. Sure did.
Oh, that sounds bomb right now.
You guys just went, right? Oh,
I
you
went
got it
on
for
New
New
Year's. Started it right.
Mm-hmm. That's nice. Dude, I don't know if you go through this at all with the kids. And I feel like really guilty if Justine ever listens to this one day, but I feel like she probably won't. But like, I can't stand her. I cannot. She's like the bane of my existence sometimes. I'm like, please don't look at me. Don't breathe next to me.
You're raising a Leo and you're having like not one but two. So
no, she's not a Leo though.
Is she?
No,
oh, she's she got lucky. Is she a Virgo?
End of August.
Think she is.
Same as you. Yeah, I know you're early September, so she got.
Okay, Elise. Okay, I see you. Yeah, she's a week. Our birthdays are exactly a week apart. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Who would have knew?
Yeah, but I'm raising a Leo. I didn't even know what that meant. I just feel like
she's a tiger. She's a lion. She's crazy.
She's out of control.
Yeah.
And then I feel like it's really hard because the way I grew up, my parents were very like short-tempered with each other, but my mom, all the patience in the world for us, right? And it's hard because I feel like in the atmosphere or the environment that I live in, I use all my patience for the adults. So when it comes to Justine, I'm just like, what do I do? Yeah.
Can't take it after one time, yeah.
Yeah, and I feel really guilty, and I want to do better, and I think about it all the time, and I just try to admit it to myself. I don't want to be in denial about the way that I'm treating her. I feel like it's not fair for me to be like, this A looks ugly. Write your letters correctly. Follow the lines. And then she's doing it again. I'm like, you're not doing it.
Dude, you are every mom in the world, Jess.
Oh,
Calm it down. Don't be so hard on yourself.
No, and like sometimes, when I'm like, Justine, you gotta do whatever, and she's not doing it, and I like snatch whatever's in her hand and like throw it across the room because I'm so angry, and I'm like, I would never do that to my husband. I would never snatch something
to like
out of
a
myself.
human, any
I would never
human.
do that to anybody else. Snatch something from them, throw it across the room, but I'm doing it to this poor little 4-year-old.
Yeah,
it's so messed up.
I know. Well, I mean, at least you feel bad about it. If you didn't, then that would be a different story because there's moms out there in this world that treat their kids like shit, and they don't feel.
They're just like
any type of sorry. They're just like, what? That's what that little punk gets, like, and it's like, no, you're in charge of teaching this 4-year-old how to become an adult someday. Yeah. So,
Right? And that's like my biggest worry is that, yes, I do know how to apologize to her and when to apologize to her, but I don't want her to be in that relationship where she's like, well, they said sorry, so it's okay now. They treated me like dirt, but they apologized, so it's cool.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want it to be that. Like, I don't want to keep putting her in this, like, little traumatizing situation and then saying, I'm sorry. You got to forgive me.
Right.
I'm your mom.
Right.
But then later down the road, you don't got to forgive nobody. Like, what sense is that making to her?
Do you think it's more now because you have the baby, of course?
I think that it is a little bit more now, but just because a lot of the situations involve the baby, where I'm like, get out of her face.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
okay.
She like
so that already aggravates you.
Yeah.
So when you're sitting down doing something at the end of the day, it's just like, I'm done. Like I already can't because you've gotten the baby's face like 10 times already.
Yeah.
So I used any of my patience on that.
Right. So it's just. It's
so.
Just and the other thing is you know that I was a horrendously bratty child. And I don't want her to be like that. I mean, I'm a different sign than her. You know, like I'm an Aquarius, so I feel like maybe I cooled off later down.
Yeah.
But if she's not going to cool, you know, if she's going to be a hothead forever, like I don't want that to be the case. Because I was raised by different people than Justine was raised by. You know, like our grandma, like, was not my mom, was not me. You know, by the time she was so much older, like, she's a saint, you know. Like
and you weren't being crazy to her. Like if grandma told you to do something, you would listen. Like you wouldn't give her a hard time, right?
Right. Yeah, I did listen to grandma. It was just, I don't know. There weren't a lot of rules floating around this house, so we pretty much got away, you know, with murder. It was
you guys had it pretty easy.
So it was like, I want this. Okay, you know, grandma didn't give us a hard time about me saying that I wanted something, whereas. Trying to have more boundaries with Justine about not being able to have everything and her not understanding it. It was horrible over Christmas when she's getting stuff and I already have a frozen list. I already have, you know, even what she did with your present. She's like, where are the rest of my presents? It's like, are you serious? Like, that's so rude. That's so rude. And it's like, who am I raising? This little freaking gremlin?
Yeah.
That she's really, entitled, and I don't want that for her, so I'm trying to lay down some rules, and it's just like she's not having it. She's not having it.
So she gives you a really hard time. Is that what the problem is too?
Yeah, she gives me a hard time. She reminds me so much of myself, and I don't know if I'm being harder on her because I feel like she's a little version of me, but I don't know.
Trying to shake the Jessica out of her. I think once the baby is up and able to, you know, she's walking, she's able to fend for herself, kind of like, you know, tell Justine by herself what her limits are. Like when she's doing stuff like that, getting in her face, that's going to alleviate you having to spend your patience on telling Justine that, because she's going to be able to start telling her herself, you know. So every day our babies are growing and we don't even realize it, but it's happening. So I know you feel really bad about it now, but that's what I'm saying. Your hands are really full right now. You're nursing, it's everything. I'm sure
this is the first time I've been home so much since I was like, I don't know, 16.
Exactly. So life is a big change right now. That's exactly how I felt. I was just like, now I'm home. I don't have any money. Like, now I have to ask this man for money.
My God,
like
today.
It was the worst feeling of my life. Like it was a really hard adjustment.
I don't even know how to do it. Like the other day, I was like, "Oh, do you want Wingstop?" And he's like, "Are you buying?" He's like, "I do if you're buying." I said, "Never mind." And then today he was like, we were going to go take Justine to her class, and I didn't eat lunch. So I was like, oh, there's a Wendy's on the way. Maybe we could stop and grab something. And he's like, yeah, if you're buying. And I was like, I ain't got no job. Like, I'm not buying nothing. And he's like, I was just kidding. And I was like, no, that doesn't make me feel good to tell me that, are you going to buy it? Like, dude, like, you know, the money that I have saved is, like, real strict to paying my bills, and that's it. Like, I can't, you know.
Budge a buck.
Yeah, I really can't. Other than, like, you know, you buy stuff for me.
Right.
But look, man, if you can afford your herb every month, you can afford.
You can put in on my burger, bro. Yeah. I made you babies.
I'm about to get a 4 for 4, okay? Don't trip.
You can have one of them.
No, you cannot. Oh, shit.
No, I think you'll be fine. And, you know, just try to take a step back, you know, in those moments. I always try to, like, pick my battles. Like, is it really worth me getting this angry over her getting frustrated after doing a whole page of her name over and over again? Yeah, she probably wants a break by now, you know, like I'll give her a break, and if she still doesn't want to do it, then okay, maybe I'll, you know, start getting a little bit annoyed. But
it wasn't that she didn't want to do it, it was that she didn't want to follow my instruction, right? Like, she's doing it, but she's not doing it right.
And
I'm like, look I'm gonna make these real simple for you. Touch this, touch that with your pen. No, you didn't hit the spot.
Oh my god!
Like, I don't know how to do a Y. And
so does she throw a tantrum like in this moment too?
She gets mad, and she's just like just being funky about it. But like yesterday, we had to be somewhere for lunch, and she knows how to dress herself, right? She doesn't like what she's wearing. She's gonna go and take everything off and change her clothes. So I help her, or she took off her pajamas, and I'm like, get dressed. I want you to help me. And I'm like, no. Or I was going to help her, but then she was being mean to me. And I was like, look, if you're going to be demanding and mean, I'm not going to help you. Sorry. So then it was 30 minutes of her screaming and crying because she wanted us to help her get dressed. And I'm just like, is it fair for me to... It's something little, right? It's just putting on her clothes. It's not a big deal. But I'm letting it get this out of hand where everybody's getting mad.
Yeah, I know. I struggle with that all the time. It's like, dude, I don't want to, of course, give my kid the wrong message. Like... But do I have to listen to Luna cry for 30 minutes because I didn't hand her back the notepad at the very precise second she wanted it to happen? You know what I mean? So now I'm just like, we're in a whole battle over this little notepad. Is it worth it, you know? But then I sit there and I'm like, but now if I give it to her, she's going to think I'm giving it to her because she cried, and she's going to use that on everything. So... story of every mom's life.
Oh no!
Tell him, Elise.
Yeah, and like when that letter thing, right? This is after all this other stuff has happened, and I was trying to explain to her, you know, when you get angry and you're like crying for things, nobody's gonna want to help you. You know, nobody's gonna want to listen to you. I've had to work with other adults, and when they're being mean to me, I'm not going to want to help them, so you have to learn. So then she's doing this thing, and I was like, all right, Justine, you're done with your homework then. Like, you don't have to do it. Fine. And she's like, you know, Mommy, I'm not going to listen to you because you're being mean. And I'm like, no, or you're mad, so I'm not going to listen to you. I'm like, that wasn't the point. That wasn't the point I was trying to make with you. Like, I'm mad, so you're not going to listen to me? You're not going to help me? She flipped it on me real quick.
She did. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Elisa's getting heated from me talking.
She was just like, don't even bring it up, Mom. Still a hot one.
I know. I kind of had looked up some tips on how to get through that. I looked up parents reveal why they secretly hate their children.
I love how Gwyneth Paltrow just recently called her kid like, oh, they're such dicks to me, and like, dude, I love when people openly are just like honest about like realism of mom. Just like sometimes our kids are not nice to us, and it fucking sucks.
Yeah,
it really does.
It does. It's like, why do they gotta be mean?
Yeah. Zoe tries to have loose little lips all the time with me.
What did she say?
She just has an attitude, and I'm just like, no, girlfriend. Like, you're not going to talk to me like that.
Yeah.
It's funny. She's very sassy, you know that, so.
Damn.
When she's tired, it's just, she's funny. It's too much.
This empoweringparents.com says, acknowledge your feelings. Change can't begin until you're honest with yourself about how you feel. Identify the cause. Find some time to really think about the root of your feelings. So, I don't know. I think it's probably
you being overwhelmed, you know? Like, you just really feeling like, I have so much to do right now, Justine. Like, I really don't have time to sit here and have you waste time when I know you know how to do this. That's, like, the most frustrating part, you know?
Yeah. You do know how to do it.
So I think that's it. It's just
maybe
pick a different time of the day to do homework.
I mean, that was just like one example. It's just a million things. Right?
Okay,
it's just everything all day. There's something different. Right?
Yeah,
it doesn't necessarily have to be homework, but I just feel like I'm being very critical of her, and I don't want her to grow up and hear my voice as her critic, right? You know,
gotcha.
like she's gonna be overanalyzing everything because my mom. You know, I'm gonna put that little voice in her head, and that voice is gonna become her own voice, and she's just gonna be very, you know, critical of everything she's doing.
I think this is what two babies do to you.
Yeah.
Because, okay, remember when me and Vanessa were talking about this on, like, that episode? We're, like, sitting there going back and forth about worrying about things like, you know, what if when they grow up, blah, blah, blah. And you're just like, I'm too easy on myself. I always think, like, a little trauma is like, what's it going to do to her kind of thing. Like,
yeah.
But now, look, you have another baby, so you're focusing on other, so, you know what I mean?
Because like, now it's... When it was just her, I felt like I could manage her trauma. But now it's like, oh, no, now I'm ignoring her. You know, before I had the time. I mean, not even really, because I guess maybe the time I had with her was just nicer because it was such a little bit of time that
you were
there
working,
wasn't,
so you'd come home and you had all the patience
like
in the world.
she missed me all day and I missed her all day, so it was all mostly, you know,
loving and fun and
yeah. So now it's all like not that because I'm with her too much.
Yeah. I think you guys would do fine. You just gotta, it's a new change for everybody, you know. Like you said, you haven't been home this much and you hate being home. I love being home.
That's why I remodeled this whole house.
Like I need something different to look at.
That's why everything's brand new here. Couldn't do it anymore. I can't be here like this. Move everything. Get rid of this. Get rid of that.
That's good.
I know. If anybody needs a blue recliner couch,
holler at your girl.
Holler at me. I'm trying to get rid of it. If you need an armoire that needs some work, take it. Can't. I just have too much furniture in this house. I want less stuff.
Yeah.
Other than the baby's most likely teething now, I think that's really pretty much all I've been going through. Trying to get my kid to stop being rude but like you said, we're all there.
We are.
We all think, why did I birth this little devil?
At some point in the day.
What else did I see on here? Oh. So just say get to know your child better, stay positive, right? So I guess just try to talk to her more and cuddle with her more. But
that's so funny because my siblings are always trying to convince me to have another baby. They want me to have a boy. And I'm just like, no, like you guys don't get it. Because to me, I feel like, oh my gosh, there's just so much more to having a child than I ever imagined. Like, you know, all my sisters were moms before me.
Yeah.
So I didn't, I thought it was just all fun and games to like play with this baby and send him home, you know, like, but yeah, like being the mom, like homework, school, all it's just like, whoa, nobody warned me about all this, guys.
Yeah.
So that's how I feel.
I mean, I've heard before people saying like, oh, I'm so hard on you because you remind me of myself, right? I've heard that so many times. And not till like now do I feel it, like, you are a little asshole. And I was definitely a little asshole. I don't want you to be that. I want you to be.
But you turned out great.
Yeah, but I'm not a Leo.
Dude, Leos are probably the worst sign on earth.
Sorry, Cindy.
Yeah. Well, Cindy's probably like the coolest one I've ever met.
I don't really know. I don't really know any about people's signs and stuff. I'm totally joking about this. It's just because everybody
of a mother-in-law is like Leo.
It's just because people tell me about Leos. Like, oh, I got a Leo.
They're tough.
I've never looked into it. I don't even know what that means, other than people telling me
they're bad.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
Sorry, good luck.
Sorry, Leo listeners.
Good luck with that. Okay. But I do feel like when I was small, I was I can catch on to things really quick, and Justine has that too.
Mm-hmm.
And I just gave up on everything right away, right? When it got a little hard, I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. And I don't want that for her. I want her to be good at something. I want her to put her heart into things.
Being challenged.
Right, because I honestly feel like other than my family, I don't have a dog in any race. Like, I don't care. Like, whatever. A job is a job, you know?
Mm-hmm.
This event is whatever. Like, do I want to go? I don't really care. Like, I'm not passionate about anything.
Yeah.
When it comes to, like, okay, what kind of career do you want? I'm like, I don't know. Like, nothing matters to me. I don't like to play games because I don't care if I win. I don't care if I lose. I'm just playing to be the extra player if they need it. So I want her to have drive. I want her...
ambition.
Yeah. Right.
I did too.
Yeah. I feel like I'm just too much of a...
I was just too, like, passive about everything. Just like, oh, my teacher's just going to let me chill in this class and not care? Cool.
Right.
Like, instead of being like, what? The teacher's not going to teach us? Let me get in a different class. You know, like, I want my kid to be like, let me get in a different class because I really want to learn.
Right.
Because I wasn't that kid.
Right. And I feel like most of us weren't, you know.
Right.
But the ones that were, like, look at
them
great
now.
things. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it's hard. And I do feel a little, like, bad for putting Justine in school earlier because now she pretty much knows everything. Other than she needs a lot of work on her writing. She's bored in the class because it's like, I already know all this.
Yeah.
And it's not going to get more challenging, really, until first grade, which is why I really want to put her in a language school so it could be a lot different and her not know what's happening.
Mm-hmm. I know. I'm struggling with that right now, too. Because where they go to school is really going to just determine how well they do in life. It's so important. And this is why 2 is enough, because having to worry about this for 2 human beings is enough. You know, I can't think of worrying about it for more than that.
But I still feel very lucky that I have the village that I do. But I feel bad because she kind of abuses everyone, you know? She's so mean.
Really?
Yeah, like, Lily comes over here, she makes her feel all bad because she's just little things that she says. I can't think of anything specific, but I'm just like, man, just thinking, like, why do you gotta be like that? You know, like, you have to do this for me. Like, no, Lily doesn't have to do anything for you.
Oh my God.
She comes, you know, because she loves you and, you know, she loves her family, but you're making it seem like she doesn't have a choice but to do this. It's the Moody Mommy's podcast.
We didn't mention, but this has been the moodiest hour.
Seriously. You had to come over so I could vent.
She's
about
venting
it?
right now, guys. This is our therapy hour.
Next time we'll have an outline of what we're doing.
Today we're just shooting the shit, catching up.
Mm-hmm.
And this is how Jessica's been feeling these days, guys.
Balding. Look at this ponytail. It's like thinner than life.
Stop stressing yourself out.
Can't help it. I'm like coming out.
Stressing yourself out.
Mm-hmm. It's everything.
It's okay. How many months is the baby now?
She's 4.5.
Almost 5.
Almost 5. She's like 6 days away from being 5 months. I'm fooling myself saying 4.5.
Oh my gosh. See, she's getting there. It's going to get easier.
I know. I haven't been to work in 6 months, and I feel like...
You're going to go crazy.
No, I feel like there's no way I could have gone back.
Oh, I know.
Like, I'm nowhere near ready to leave this house and leave her with someone else.
Mm-hmm.
She's way too attached to me. Justine, I freaking left as soon as she popped out of me. This one, I can't leave her.
Yeah.
I know you kind of did the same thing with Zoe.
Yep. And then Luna, I was
You
like,
didn't
there's
leave her?
no way I can leave this child anywhere. It took me forever to leave her.
Mm-hmm.
Even to go out for like a break for the first time ever.
Yeah, I have not... when did I can't even think of if I've left her or not. I don't think so. Maybe for like a second to go take Justine to school and come back. But the only time I could leave her is in the morning because after 4 o'clock, she don't want nobody else.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. That was Louie.
Yeah.
Yeah. There was like hours of the day where every time, like she would just cry at the certain, like, 2 to 4 every day. Like, it was just like her crying time. Would sit there and, like, be, like, holding her every different way imaginable, trying everything. And she would just cry. And I would tell the doctor, like, I think she's broken.
Aww.
Like, all she does is cry. Like, she's like, yeah, I think she's just colic. Like, what does that mean? Please tell me.
What does that mean? Is that gassy?
So a lot of people don't know about it. Okay, so it says colic isn't a single medical condition. What is it exactly? It's basically an umbrella term that describes a baby that cries a lot. The actual medical definition of colic is the occurrence of bouts of crying in an otherwise healthy baby that, number 1, occurs in the first 3 months of life. Number 2, lasts more than 3 hours a day. And 3, happens more than 3 days per week. And number 4, occurs each week for at least 3 weeks. So I also read that it has something to do with, like, kind of like their gastric system.
Yeah, that's what I thought it was.
Yeah. So they're kind of like, I think it's because their little stomach is basically upset. So they just can't get comfortable. You know, they can't talk and tell us what's wrong. So it sucks. So it says ways that you can tell that your baby is colic is they clench their fists. They bend their arms and legs towards their belly. They have a bloated tummy, have a red flush face when they cry. If they pass gas while they shed tears, often because they're swallowing air. And then tightening their stomach muscles as well. So it's basically like a tummy thing that they got going on, and they just can't find any relief to it, and it's really hard. So I had seen this new, it's kind of like a baby bouncer kind of thing, but it kind of looks like an ottoman, and the baby, you buckle the baby on their tummy, and it kind of just like moves them a little bit.
I think I may have seen that before.
I seen it like on Facebook or something, and it like was a life changer, like the only relief for like colicky babies that I think that they had come out with that was like safe and whatnot. So I thought it was pretty crazy. But so the way that you can treat it, it says that your baby may calm down if you lay him on his back in a dark, quiet room, swaddle them or snuggle them in a blanket, lay them across your lap and gently rub them on their back. You can try an infant massage, put a warm water bottle on your baby's belly, have him suck on a pacifier, or soak him in a warm bath. So you can try all of those things, and 9 times out of 10, your baby's going to cry during all of them. But don't worry, maybe one of them will work. But yeah, so it's really hard. So
sometimes something works this one time, but the next time it doesn't work.
Exactly. Like, But it's good to know, because a lot of people, you know, first-time parents, they've never heard of it. Yeah. So they're just like, what is that? Like, and your baby's just crying nonstop, and you really are wondering, like, oh my goodness, what is going on?
Yeah. Like this one, like I'm the type of person who I like to shower at night, like before I get into bed. I'm not like really a morning shower.
Right.
But I have to like switch it up because she's fine in the morning, so that's the only time I can get away from her. If I try to take a shower at night, she could be asleep. I could have put her to sleep. She'll be asleep for like an hour already. She will wake up screaming because I'm not next to her.
Oh my goodness. She's got GPS on you.
She does have GPS on me. So I'll be like, okay, maybe I'll just feed her. She's still awake, so she knows, you know, I didn't just disappear on her. But to her, still, I did just disappear on her, right? She doesn't know I'm in the next room.
Right.
So she goes freaking out, screaming again. Ernie has to, like, come into the restroom.
Holding
her. And stand
her.
in there. Yeah. And
so she could stare at you?
She just, it's weird because she can't even see me.
She's
knows.
here.
Yeah.
Cool. I'm cool. How funny. I love it. I mean,
I don't.
It's just enjoy it while it lasts. You know what I mean? Because before you know it, she's gonna be over you and
mean to me. Like just doing. Exactly. I'm gonna be like, I hate Elise.
Exactly. I hate Elise. So you know what I mean? Like just soak it in while you have it, because I swear me and Joey are we're totally getting the baby fever. And then I'm telling you, everybody's like trying to put this like try for the boy thing on us. And so Joey's just like constantly like looking at them like, babe, they're so cute. Like, I can't believe they're getting so big. Like, maybe we should. I'm just like, don't come near me ever again. Ever again. Like, so it's hard because it is, you know, I see her and but then I'm holding her and then I'm like doing this rocking thing and I'm just like, oh, I'm out of this woods already. Like, so, you know, I feel for you, but you're getting there. So that's what I'm saying. Enjoy. It's just a phase. You're going to get through it.
I know. No, I mean, it's when I have her, like, she's fine. She's an angel. It's just, I can't hand her to anybody else. I'm just like, sorry, you know.
That was Luna. Remember the first time I left Luna, she was what, 9 months, and me and Joey went to a concert for like, what, 3 hours? And I think my sister stopped by the house, and Luna was fine. As soon as my sister got there, she was screaming bloody murder from that point on. So, you know, it's just that one thing that just sets them off. You're just like, what have I done? Make it stop. Like, Phoebe, have I gone mad? Like,
I know. It is too much. In the very beginning, she was really good. Like, I'd put her to sleep and she would stay asleep. But then, as the weeks have gone by, she's been a little bit more on mom alert.
Like, oh, where's my mom?
Yeah. Dude, every time somebody holds my baby and they start crying, I think of you. I want my baby back, baby back, baby back. Why did you say that to me?
When?
You don't remember saying that to me? I told you that somebody was like, oh, let me hold your baby. And they were like really excited to hold them. And then you told me I was just looking at them like, I want my baby back, baby back, baby back.
Wasn't that recently that you told me the story? For Christmas, right?
I was like, you're a little weird. You're a little too, I love this child. Sir, please give me my baby back.
Baby back, baby back.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
I know. All right. We gotta get the little children's.
It's a school night, guys, so, you know, we'd love to sit here and
talk forever.
Be moody all night.
I know. We gotta do this during the day when the baby's chill and the kids are at school.
In 2 weeks from now, we'll let you guys know throughout this week what the topic will be. So stay tuned. It's going to be a good one. We have a lot of things coming this year, so get excited, guys. The year is going to be moodier than you've ever known.
We're going to get it together this year.
We are. We've been saying that for like 2 years now. 3 years, because Luna's 3 now.
I know.
So 3 years now, but this is our year, 2020. So
we're gonna do it. Now I'm home.
Bossing it up.
Now I'm like,
yeah, we got the time. My kids are in school, work part-time, so we could do this. We got this. It's the moody year, guys, so get ready. T-shirts, everything coming soon. So until then, stay moody.
Say Moody Mommies.
Moody Mommies.
Moody Mommies podcast.